Hey, my Lipton. So I actually want to come in here and I know I'm so late with this, but I wanted to give my thoughts on John Cena's comments when it came to Vince McMahon. So John Cena did an interview with Howard Stern, and Howard Stern asked John Cena about Vince McMahon, his relationship with Vince, the allegations, and where John Cena stands as far as like when it comes to his relationship with Vince McMahon. And honestly, I think if we're talking about the overall consensus, nothing that John Cena said is something that we're really surprised about. At least for me, on my end, I wasn't surprised, shocked, or anything. And maybe there might have been some people that are disappointed with John Cena's comments, but like, personally, I don't know why people will be disappointed. I mean, okay, first things first, let me just say this. I honestly I don't expect John Cena to necessarily turn his back on Vince. Like I don't expect him to just drop Vince. And that goes for not just John. That goes for like Mark Calloway, aka The Undertaker. That goes for hell Stone Cold Steve Austin. That goes for The Rock. That goes for so many different wrestlers in this bit, like Randy Orton, any wrestler, Daniel Bryan. Hell, I do remember, like I remember back like a while ago. It's been maybe last year or something that Bryan Danielson also before these new allegations, but like the first allegations that came out about Vince, like Bryan Danielson was saying how much he loved Vince and that sort of thing. So if I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, I do not expect these wrestlers to turn their back on a man that sort of either, yeah, he might not have like, create like someone like he created or built up like someone like The Undertaker, or, a wrestler that has been in the business, but they never took off until they got into the grasp of Vince McMahon, like a Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I'm not expecting really any of these wrestlers to throw away like decades upon decades of friendship due to these allegations. Okay, let me just come off with that. John Cena's comments, to me personally, I see someone that is hurt that this is happening, and in a way, this is why I'm even trying to, because my thoughts are all over the place, but like, this is why even me, like, I've fallen back on like doing any sort of like wrestling news as of late, only because like I feel like there's just so much toxicity. There's like a lot of just not good vibes right now, I feel like, within this community. And of course, like, I discuss a lot of things on my channel. I discuss I've done multiple videos on Tammy Lynn Sitch. I've done videos about the wrestling business and that sort of thing. But I feel like as of late, within the wrestling community mostly, it's been very toxic. And especially looking at this whole situation with like Cody Rhodes, The Rock, Roman Reigns, this whole saga that is happening right now, it has really turned dark. And for me, I've had to come to a point where I had to protect my mental health. So that's why, and I apologize, because it's like, in a way, I do feel bad, because it's like I know there is a sector of my subscribers that that found me because of my wrestling commentary and so forth. So it's like I don't want them to feel alienated, but in this space that I created, I still want to continue doing wrestling videos. I still want to do my reactions, my reviews, discuss what certain people are saying, give my own thoughts and opinions. But it's just that I had to take a break with a lot of the things that's been happening, and a lot of that also has to do with Vince McMahon and his and these allegations, because it upsets me that, like, you built a business to the point where it's like it's international. Like, we grew up on wrestling, you know? My father watched wrestling, like my cousins, everybody watched wrestling. Vince McMahon brought wrestling to a point where, it was just, it's still amazing how he even got to this point. And for you to like throw away your legacy, for you to tarnish your legacy, for you to tarnish wrestling, all because of your disgusting, perverted fantasies, it pissed me off. And that's why, like, I think the video before I did, I think I was discussing The Rock and Cody Rhodes. Like, I think the video before that where I discussed, Vince McMahon, the allegations, I was pissed off and I was cursing and I was going off because I was just like, how could you do this? How could you throw your family, your legacy, everything that you built under the bus for some weird ass like paraphilic disorder activities? It's like, sorry, like Vince needs help. He needs help. And it sucks that like now the company right now has to do all this damage control, so that people get their eyes off of what's going on with Vince. Now, let me just say this. Yes, does it look a kind of way like where it's like, okay, John, so you still gonna be friends with this person. You're not gonna turn your back on this person because yeah, he made you who you are, but at the same time, this guy allegedly could be like a sex trafficker or whatever. He could allegedly be that. Like, so he's like, you're still gonna be friends with that person. So I can see where people are coming from that aspect of things. And I understand it because it's like, listen, if it comes out that Vince forced this woman, pressured these women to do some weird shit, then you're really gonna have to reevaluate your friendship. And that goes for anybody, Taker, John. But at the same time, I don't expect John and all these other people to. I don't expect, in a way, it's like, I'm not really expecting anything from them. It's like, they know that without Vince McMahon, their careers would have been where it's at. And I know a lot of people don't like to give Vince the credit nowadays because Vince is the villain right now. He is the villain, and even in my book, he's the villain right now. He's like, people just don't like, especially even before these allegations. Like, people were mad at Vince for like how he's taking the product and all these different things creative. So Vince has been the villain for a very, very long time. So people are not gonna give Vince his props, but like at the end of the day, we're gonna talk about it. Like, let's discuss. Wrestling would not have been where it's at today if it wasn't for Vince McMahon. Period. Point blank. So the industry, even though yes, we're dragging Vince right now. We're dragging Vince on the internet. Like, if you type in Vince McMahon's name, it's like he's getting read it and roasted all over the internet, and as he should be. But at the end of the day, it's like, I know these wrestlers are also thinking that like, this man, like, I love this man to the point where it's like, yes, I can look at the allegations, I can have a conversation with him, all these different things, but I just can't turn my back on him. At the end of the day, I love this man. He did so much for me, and we'll just have to wait and see. So John Cena's response was what I expected it to be. I will say this though. I will say this, and I had to play the devil's advocate part on Vince McMahon's end before I end this video. Vince, okay, so do I believe, these text messages, these allegations, and all these different things? As far as like from the aspect of yes, like him cheating on his wife, him having the threesomes with John Laurinaitis, I even heard that he pooped on the girl's head and all these different. Ugh, I believe all those allegations. I believe that part. But I noticed, I didn't read all the text messages at the time, but I did read another text message where, and I don't know why the accuser put this in the lawsuit, because now that particular part of the text message, because now I feel like Vince McMahon's legal team is going to use that and flip it and reverse it to make it seem as if she consented to everything. But there's this one particular text message where the girl, the alleged accuser, like wrote back to Vince after Vince wrote all those vile text messages that, oh yeah, baby, I'm gonna be ready. Like, I just need some time to regroup, but yes, I'm coming. Don't worry. Da, da, da. And I'm paraphrasing here, but that's what that particular text message said. And when I read that, I was like, in my mind, I was like, girl, why did you put this in the laws? You should have cut that part out and left all of Vince McMahon's text messages and go forward with that. So the way I think Vince McMahon is gonna go about this is that I think that he's gonna flip it and reverse it, make it seem as if this girl was a consenting adult in these activities, as disgusting and immoral as they are. She was consenting to it. She agreed to do some of these things. And once she stopped getting paid, that's when she wanted to claim all the, sex trafficking, all this stuff. But yet you was with it for, and I had to play devil's advocate on this part because it's like, let's be very clear. These things, these alleged things happened between 2019 and 2020, 2022? So it's like, and on top of that, the Me Too movement was up and running at that time then. So it's like, Miss Mamas could have come out at any time. And you got to remember, NDAs do not protect these, like, any sort of like criminal activity or anything like that. Like, if it's criminal, if it's anything like that, you can break the NDA. So for me, I'm like, the more I think about it, I'm like, she also could have come out at that time, especially at the height of the Me Too movement. Like, she could have been out there. So it's very interesting. And the more I keep thinking about it and the more time passes, at first I'm thinking that, yes, Vince is guilty. He's gonna be found guilty. He's gonna have to pay this girl. But the more time goes on, the more I'm thinking to myself, and I hate for it to be like a skeptical person or to feel this way. But y'all, I honestly truly think that this is gonna end in a settlement. I think that the Vince is gonna give her a good payday in court, and they're gonna settle. At the end of the day, let's be very clear. Vince McMahon has been settling with a lot of lawsuits. A lot. It's going back since like Owen Hart. He's been settling. He's gonna settle with this, and people are gonna look at this situation, and it's the same way how some people also look at it. Like when I was talking about Cassie and Diddy, and now like even my mind has changed as far as like how I felt about Cassie settling like the next day after the lawsuit. But there is that suck that people are gonna be like, wait a minute, but girl, you said that you were sex trafficked, that you all these things happen, but yet you're settling. That makes absolutely no sense. Why not fight through it? Why not expose this man? Why not do all these things? But I think that, this accuser is looking at like, the Wall Street Journal and this lawsuit, basically using that as the exposure, but is going to settle with Vince McMahon with the money that she wants. So that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I could be a skeptic, but that's just the way I feel like things are going to go, going on forward. But at the end of the day, let's be very clear. Vince McMahon is done. He's done with this business. They're not gonna bring him back. He's just not going to. Even if they settle, even if he wins this whole thing and makes it seem as if this girl was a consenting adult, I see no way back for Vince. So, and I think everybody knows that now. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, I think Vince is just a weirdo. He's a weirdo. He's he needs to go to like a sex therapist, something like he needs to go find a psychiatrist for his, like, it's like these weird, like, I don't know, it's giving me low key like paraphilic disorder thing with him. It's like, it's very weird stuff in that lawsuit. So, but yeah, tell me what y'all guys think in the comment section below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna try to do more wrestling videos, but it's just, y'all, lately the wrestling community has been a little bit too toxic for my liking. So it's just like, I've been trying to take little bits here and there and discuss, but like, y'all gonna have to give me time because it's like, it's been crazy out here. So please don't want you guys think in the comment section below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get up to 800 subscribers, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.